Well, it's very nice to be here to offer one man's view about the future of the internet, and I'll start with the big picture, which is that we're still pretty close to the beginning. I think last year I moderated a panel here. I said that we were maybe 5 to 10% of the way there. In other words, of all the things that the internet could do for us to simplify our lives, to make things better, only 5 to 10% of it was so far available to us. This year, I guess I could ratchet that up to maybe 10% at most. And I'll be explaining why I feel that way. The internet is very much still power to the people. Grassroots, bottoms up. The power of the click or the tap is still what's driving the internet. Expectations are rising by the day. Every day we see something new on the internet, we go, wow, if we could do that, why do I still have to fax this form? Why do I still have to do so many things the old-fashioned way? Disintermediation. Some people thought iTunes was the end of disintermediation, but I think we're beginning to see now that we're really at the beginning of what's going to happen. We saw it with textbooks last week. Maybe we'll see it with TV next month. Lots more to go. And one of the biggest changes that I foresee is the merger of the internet and healthcare. 20% of our economy. It merits being on the first slide is something that's really, really important. So let me discuss a bit the pervasive internet that I see evolving. Of course, we know that there are millions of businesses and billions of people, but there also are trillions of things. And increasingly, it will be the things that are driving the internet more so than the people. Unimaginable amounts of data. Big data, we call it. I'll have more to say about that in a moment. Everything connected to everything. A horrifying thought in some respects, but I believe that we will be able to have the privacy and the security that we expect. Let's look a little bit more about this power of the click. Why do I say we're only 5 or 10% of the way there? Well, I think we all know that there are a lot of lame websites out there. There's some great ones. The banks have come a long way. The airlines have made tremendous progress. Some of their sites are actually pretty good. I was on one of the great telephone company websites the other night. I really hate to visit them, but I had a question, and I thought, well, I'm sure I can get the answer quickly there. I went to their website, and they had a new feature, live chat. Talk to a real person and get your answer directly. Terrific. This is great. I clicked on the chat button. A person came up. Hi, my name's Rick. How can I help you? I asked him my question. His reply was, please visit our website. So that's why I say we're only 5 to 10% of the way there. Now let's look at retail. Retail. We don't have the fourth quarter numbers yet, but the third quarter numbers tell the story. And the fourth quarter, when they do come out, will only strengthen the story. And the story is that retail in the third quarter was $1.052 trillion. We have a $4 trillion retail economy in America. 1.052 trillion in the third quarter. Of that, 48.2 billion was online. 4.6%. I don't know what most people would guess what percentage of things that are bought get bought on the internet. I think most people would probably guess a higher number than that. We're not to 5% yet, but what's really astounding, even more astounding than Apple's fourth quarter report, is that of that 48.2 billion, one company got 10.9 billion, Amazon. 23% of all retail sales online, one company. Do you know how many retailers there are? 4 million. And one company. Now, how could that be? Well, I think we all know the answer of how that could be. Has anyone ever been dissatisfied at Amazon? Do you know people that growl and grumble about how bad their customer service is? No. They walk in the customer's shoes, and that's what this is all about. Now, in healthcare, we have a long way to go. We have e-prescribing on the horizon. Think about how healthcare operates today when it comes to offering us a prescription for something that's seriously wrong with us. A doctor takes a piece of paper and literally scribbles on it and hands it to us and sends us to the drugstore. And we hand it to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist looks at it and says, what? And 15% of the time they guess. And 10% of those times they guess wrong. And a few percentage times out of that, people die because That's how we operate healthcare in America. Now, e-prescribing, of course, is changing that in a very dramatic way. At the hospital where I'm a director up in Connecticut, we have 40% of prescriptions now are done as e-prescriptions. And it's not just that they become readable, it's also that that prescription can be checked against all other prescriptions known for that particular patient, and also checked against known allergies of that particular patient. So big progress ahead. And of course, the healthcare record that each of us will have is going to present a real revolution to how healthcare operates. Just a quick sidebar on healthcare. There isn't time to go into the details of this. I've become quite interested in healthcare, and I've been hanging around the internet, as some of you know, from the beginning. But I've gotten really deeply interested in this. In fact, I'm working on a doctorate right now in healthcare. My grandchildren think it's hilarious that Pop-Pop is a student again. There's some really very good things happening, and these are the highlights here, regardless of what the Supreme Court has to say about the Commerce Clause, regardless of who gets elected, regardless of whether or not Obamacare gets repealed or not. These things are not going to stop. Patient-centered medical home, the concept of having a primary care physician organize and control the care of a patient and be compensated on your health, not how many times you go to see somebody. What a common sense idea. It's happening. Healthcare information exchanges, so that when we go to a specialist from that primary care physician, the specialist knows why we're there. And they know our background health information. And when we go to another place to get a medication, that